Hello everyone, my name is Nguyễn Thái Minh Hoàng. I'm from Group 7. Today I will talk about Chapter 4B, Duties of Folder in case of damage. These are my team members. The next is the table, is my group table of contents. The first one is guideline for claim handling and submission. Be aware for preliminary notice claim. Second is checking on delivery of cargo. Next is notification and survey. And last one is the summary document and not so vital document. Beside that, we have mitigation of loss and cargo claim instruction, migration of loss and damage, collection and revision of evidence, communication with authorities, and how far there is to mitigate goals. And go to the next one, I will talk about the guidelines for claim handling and submission. The first one is the Hagu and Hagu visibility rule for a 6 state. Unless notice of loss or damage and the general nature of such loss or be given in writing to the carrier or his agent at the port of discharge before or at the time of the removal of the goods into custody of person entitled to delivery, therefore under the contract of carriage, or if the loss or damage can be not apparent, within 3 days, such removal shall be removed face evidence of the delivery by the carrier of the good as described in the bill of lading. But but in the Haggle rules have three main points. The first one is the time limit used. The claimant must bring a claim within 1 year from the day of delivery or the day when the goods should have been delivered. Second is the time barrier. After 1 year, the right to sue is extinguished. And finally, is extension possible? The time limit can be extended by agreement between the parties. For example, the cargo was delayed on June 1 in 2020, 2024. The consignee failed a claim on the May 15 on 2025, and result is claim is valid because it will fill within 1 year. The next one is the on taking delivery of the cargo. You need to check the container extender. Next, check if the original container seal are intact. And finally, for refill container, check the temperature and ventilation setting. Next, we move on. Hoàng Mỹ Gia Hân.
My name is Hoàng Mỹ Hân. I will receive the procedure for notification and surveys. When cargo damage is found, key actions must be taken immediately to start the insurance claim process. The first point is to notify the insurer when the loss amount exceeds the deductible stated in the insurance policy. If you don't meet these conditions, your claims may not be accepted, even if there is room made. And the second point is about timing. If you report the damage too late, the insurer may reject your claim on the basis of late notice. And the third is notifying promptly helps protect your loss ratio, which is case matrix insurance used to assess your reliabilities as a client. A high loss ratio or irregular reporting may affect your ability to get good insurance terms in the future. And next we have examples. A seafood importer discovers spoiled birds reported 5 days late. As a result, the insurer refused the claim due to the policy time limits. Let's move to the next key point is legal entitlement to claim. In order to successfully file an insurance claim, the claimant must have a legal right to do so. First, the claimant must be named on the bill of lading. This means the concernee listed on the bill of lading is the one who has the right to claim. Secondly, if the claimant is not named, they must be holding a properly issued bill of lading. In this case, the right to claim has been legally transferred to them. And let's look at this example to see why legal standing is important. The bill of lading lists its easiest training companies, also known as the agent at the consignment. And however, when the cargo was damaged, ABC company, the actual importer, filed the claim. Since ABC company was not named on the bill of lading and has no proper endorsement, the insurer rejected. So the insurer rejected the claim. And when cargo damage is serious or sensitive, it's important to involve a surveyor as a part of claim process. There are three key conditions when a surveyor should be occurring for serious or sensitive cargo damage. This means if the goods are available or is easily affected, like frozen good or electronics, you should involve surveyors, and their report provides strong evidence of damage. And the insurer will rely on this third-party report to your claim. And the second is bond inspection, cargo and containers. The surveyors must inspect both the cargo and the container together. This has determined whether the damage was due to container issues like poor ventilation or water leakage or internal factors. If only the cargo is impacted, you may miss important clues related to liability or cause of damage. Survey must happen before container is returned. It's critical to array the survey before the empty containers is returned. The shipping lines once it returned and physical fruits of container-related damage is lost. Last service may lead to claim denial due to lack of evidence. For example, frozen meat systems was impacted before unloading. The surveyor confirmed that the cargo was remade. This rules allow the issuer to approve and pay the claim. And next, I will present how to take proper photographic evidence. There are 5 steps in total. or stay focused on photographing the damage properly, which is critical for a successful insurance claim. Here we start with the first three steps. Step one is collecting proper photographic evidence. A smartphone is usually sufficient these days. And step two, take pictures of containers. Make sure that the container number is clearly visible on the door and side panel. And then take picture evidence that container was made poor condition or was a picture should be taken from outside and inside the container. And in step three, test photo showing how the cover was packed and stuff is inside the container. This serves as evidence that the shipper or exporter properly packed the cargo at the time of loading. Let's move to the two remaining steps. Step 4 is show the extent of the damage when taking the picture. For example, words is only one bag of dry sausages in the water or half of the containers. And step 5 is take on the picture before returning the empty containers to the container yard, and if possible, put the time stamps on each picture and send it immediately to the carrier together with the claim.
Next, I will talk about the necessary documents. There are 10 important documents in these chapters. Um, it's required to carry out the complaint procedures. First one is the packing list. Packing list is an important document in import export. That lists in detail the goods packed in shipments. Next to is the photo of damaged goods. Photo of damaged goods refers to image showing damaged goods commonly used as evidence during the claim process. Insurance compensations incidents handling during transportation. Next to is the commercial invoice. Commercial invoice is a mandatory and important document used for calculating import duties, inspecting goods, and completing custom procedures. It provides detailed information about the goods, pricing, deliveries, and payment terms. Then is the bill of lading. Bill of ladings are called PL. Is a shipping document issued by carriers or shipping agents, confirming receipt of goods from the shippers to be delivered to the consignors. This is a mandatory document in international trade with high legal values, often considered the ownership documents of the goods. Next is the claim letters. A claim letter is an official document issued by the buyer, consignor, or shipper to require compensations for damage, loss, delays, or errors in goods from related parties such as carriers, insurance companies, suppliers, or logistics providers. Then is the notice of loss damage. A notice of loss or damage is an official notification sent by the consignors or call importers is related party to the carrier, shipping company, or insurance providers, informing that goods have been lost or damaged during transportation. Then is the insurance certificate. The insurance certificate is a document issued by an insurance company confirm that the shipments has been insured. In case of breach, large damage or more issues, the insurance parties may claim compensations as per the the agreed terms. These documents plays an important role in protecting the buyers or sellers in its interest in an international shipping. And finally, that is the survey report. A survey report is a document prepared by a surveyor after physically inspecting the goods when an incident such as damage, loss, leak aging, break egg, uh, deformations occurs during transport. Next to is the it is the zone. It is not vital documents. The gate out document carries collects these documents at their size. Thus, there is no need to ask people provide the same unless they have a dirty interchange receipt, evidencing that carriers collect these documents at their site. Thus, there is no need to ask you to containers was distinct from virtual damage. And this is the time limitations. That is the countdown. That is the countdown time start with the day of deliveries at the receiver's warehouse. The common time is about 1 year. It maybe it maybe approximately 12 months according to the Hague's VPI's rules international. um, but in some case, the following the carriers agents um, are, interized. This is maybe 9 months or 6 months in some case. According to carriers, yes, it is very important. That is the check the actual turns in the building of in the build of lading.
Tàu hàng đang chờ xuất cảng thì bất ngờ bị phá nước lật nghiêng, nước tràn vào khoang nhấn chìm 50 tấn hàng. Đến chiều ngày 23 tháng 6, chủ tàu cùng các lực lượng chức năng đang tích cực khắc phục sự cố. Vụ việc xảy ra tại bến Hàm Tử thuộc khu vực cảng cá Quy Nhơn, tỉnh Bình Định.
Trước đó chiều 22 tháng 6, tàu hàng KH1349 vào khu vực bến Hàm Tử để bốc hàng hóa, vật liệu xây dựng. Đến 22 giờ 30 phút cùng ngày thì bị lật chìm. Theo lãnh đạo cảng cá Quy Nhơn, ngay sau khi xảy ra sự cố, chủ tàu đã khẩn trương triển khai các biện pháp ứng phó, kịp thời hút hết lượng dầu trên tàu nên không để xảy ra tình trạng tràn dầu ra biển. Hàng hóa trên tàu được xếp theo từng cấu kiện riêng biệt nên không gây ô nhiễm môi trường biển. Sau vụ việc, các lực lượng chức năng đã có mặt tại hiện trường để phối hợp xử lý, làm rõ nguyên nhân. Theo ghi nhận trong chiều 23 tháng 6, chủ tàu hàng đã huy động phương tiện, nhân lực để trục vớt hàng hóa bị ngập nước lên bờ. Theo lực lượng biên phòng, tàu trên do ông LVS, trú địa phương, thuê từ Khánh Hòa để vận chuyển vật liệu xây dựng ra đảo Nhân Châu, cách đất liền Quy Nhơn khoảng 12 hải lý.
And through the previous video, we can see that the risks in logistics are inevitable. However, the responsibility of the freight forwarder doesn't stop at transportation. They must also know how to respond, coordinate, and mitigate losses. And let's find out more. Mitigate means to reduce losses, and it's a legal application. The insurer party has a responsibility to take a responsible actions to minimize the extent of the losses arising from a breach of contract or a tort. And when cargo damage occurs, the freight forwarder has the responsibility to coordinate in order to minimize further losses and protect the interests of the cargo owner, the insurer, and themselves. And to prevent further damage, measures must be taken immediately, always keeping the following order of the priority in mind. The first is ensure the safety of people and response team. This is the top of priority in any situation. Secondly, identify responsibility of involved party. Determine which party caused the loss and request formal acknowledgement, issuance of the letter of protest. Thirdly, separate and reserve damaged cargo to prevent the spread or worsening of the damage. And the next one is reviving and controlling the flow of information. Identify who is responsible for sharing information and ensure it is sent to the right person and right time. And the fifthly is contacting claims and insurance department when appropriate, promptly notify the insurer. And the last one is cooperating with insurance company and loss adjuster. They are the professional who determine whether compensation will be paid, so full cooperation is essential. And the next content will be written by.
Well, today I'm going to present about the collection and reservation of evidence in the logistics. So there are three purposes of the collecting and reserving evidence, namely identify the cause of the incident, support the insurance claim, and avoid dispute and legal liability. So now let's look at the segment step of the collecting evidence in logistics. So the step one in the identify the report the incident. This means the notice that an incident has to happen and inform the right people immediately. So the step two, it protect the area, the good, so nothing is moved and damage future. So in the step three, we have the document the evidence. So it's meant to record everything clearly, like photo, videos, and notes. So in the next week, I move on to the step four, is the collect supporting document. It's meant to gather important paperwork related to the shipment. For I have for example for this, the forwarder should prepare the bill of lading, invoice, and packing list to show what was shipped and how much is was and the detail of the shipment. So the step five, we talk about the witness and keep damaged items safer. And finally, we are maintain the trend and custodies and file a claim. They should track who the handle the evidence to send is the claim to the insurance. So we are move on to the in the process of the collecting and reserving evidence. Several parties may be involved. So the first one is the operation department. This department manage cargo warehouse, so they are often the first to notice when an incident happen. So an operation staff member see a container, then during the unloading, they start taking photo and record information. So and this is a health, safety, and environment department who has the more responsibility for the workplace safety and environmental protection and for investigating incident cause. I have the for example for this when an oil spill happened as the port, the HSE team prepared a report measure the impact and keep a sample for spill oil. And the last one is the any involve the trained personnel is the anyone trained in evidence collection produce can participate. And how to prevent the evidence properly. Is it the police, the custom report authority, the fire or environment agency who present evidence correctly. It's important to make sure it's reliable and can be used for the insurance claim and legal case. And here are the key rules for this one. Um, uh, uh, and it's the first one is don't move and train the silence before recording, and and record date, time, and responsibility party clearly. So keep record safe and confidential, and pack up post hard and soft copy because it's really it's how the important role to the collect the evidence. And the next one we will talk about the communication with the authorities such as the police, the custom, port authorities, and fire or environmental agency. When an incident happens, talking to the authority must be done carefully. And the last one, we want to talk about the risk and receivable. If we give a wrong statement, it can create a big problem for everyone. For example, we might accidentally admit that we are at the fault, give wrong information, or even lost our right to claim the compensation. To avoid their risk, we must follow some principles. Make sure all documents are correct and complete. All have the legal and serious representative with you when you talking to the authority. So keep a professional and cooperative attitude. We should never give official statement without approval from the insurance legal team. If someone pressure us for information, we should stay calm and polite, refuse to comment and direct them to the outside. And before working with the authority, we need to be well prepared. This preparation will help us communicate effectively and protect our company interactive.
Now, I would like to talk about the principle of identity in cargo insurance. Firstly, let me explain the definition of identity. This is a principle that insuring party is compensated only for the actual loss occur. The main objective of the principle is to restore the insured to the financial position they was in before the loss occurred, but not intended to revive profit. Next, let me move on to indemnity proof. First of all, indemnity limits and reasonable expensive compensation shall not exceed the sum insured. For example, if the insurance value is 100 million, the loss is 150 million, the insurer will pay only of 100 million. So the reasonable expenses incurred will be identified. These include survey expensive for protecting and minimizing damage, expensive for claiming against a third party, liability share in a boat to claim collision, and general average service charges. For example, hire a lawyer to sue the shipping company for damaged goods. Lawyer fees are compensated. Second, we have the no double recovery principle. If a third party already compensated part of the loss, the insurer only pay the remaining amount to avoid double recovery. For instance, cargo value is 50 million. Carrier pay 30 million. The insurer only pay
20 million, so the insurer must not profit from the accident. Indemnity only restore the actual loss. The next part is subrogation and deductible. Principle of subrogation. After paying the loss, the insurer had the right to claim against the liable third party on your behalf. For example, if the carrier damaged the goods, insurers pay you first, then recover the amount from the carrier. Deductible mean before the insurance company pays, the insurer must pay a certain amount of money themselves to cover parts of the loss. This amount is clearly stated in the insurance contract. The insurance only covers the portion exceeding that amount. For example, loss is 50 million, deductible is 5 million, you pay 5 million, then insurer company pay 45 million. Finally, here are some principal notes. Always review insurance policy carefully and keep invoices and loss evidence. Do not discharge damaged goods before service is conducted. That concludes our representation. Thank you for your attention.